Alright, what is up and welcome back to the video. So this was never intended to be a video, but as you can see the workshop is an absolute mess. But Zane brought his bike through again. We're doing some maintenance on it, trying to diagnose some wiring issues on his bike and my bike. But before we get into that, I'm quickly going to go through what I've done on the bike, what I still need to do, and then we'll take it from there. So first off, I just changed the needle on the carb. Well, I didn't change the needle, just changed the clip position to the top position because the bike was running a bit rich. The O-ring for the rear brake master is shot, so I got some O-rings, just need to install that, and then the real thing. So the bike is not charging the battery, so I pulled the whole wiring harness apart, got the regulator out there. I suspect the regulator is the issue because I tested the voltage on here coming directly from the stator. So we've got voltage coming from the regulator and we've got voltage going to the plug that goes to the regulator. From the regulator to the battery we get no voltage. So it's either this plug or the regulator itself. But what we're doing now, we are just kind of tidying up some wiring. So we've got the fan switch and all that good stuff and the power for the fan. So we are going to be using these butt connectors. Here we've got a little fuse and we've got some more connectors over here and some heat shrink for insulation. The fan was directly wired to the battery, and you can do it like that, but there is provision in the wiring harness for auxiliaries like a fan, lights, all that good stuff. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get the fan done, and then we are going to cut off these connectors and hardwire the regulator into the harness. Test it to see if it's charging. If it's not charging, then we know for sure that the regulator is the issue. So that's pretty much what we got going today, and hopefully we can finish the bike off and then we can go test. Oh, one more thing, we've got a fork seal we need to install, because as you can see Zane's fork seal is leaking. It's landed on a rock and it's got some deep gouges on it, so I'm gonna sand those down. We've got an assortment of different sandpaper grits going from I think 180 all the way to 800. Ideally you don't want to sand on the fork tubes, but they have so many nicks and scratches in them, so as a temporary solution we are going to sand those scratches down, and when Zane has the funds available to re-chrome his fork tubes, then he will go ahead and do that. Obviously the key thing is we are not professionals, we don't have super high budgets, everything is done as cheaply but as close to the correct way possible on a budget. And yeah, that's just how we do things, because we break these bikes off and we torture them, so we're not going to go and spend thousands of rands on them every time. We can just easily fix them in a simple yet efficient manner in the garage. So let's jump into the work. that we've got everything hooked up. Let's just see there. And all the wires are plugged in. Fuse to the positive, to the switch, whatever. So the fan should work. Okay, perfect. So we can now go ahead and hardwire or temporarily hardwire the connector for the regulator. Let's see how that goes. Alright, so I've got the plugs off either ends, and now we will just check the colors, what needs to connect to what. And the reason why I'm doing this is from the stator, so the white wire is what gives power or gives charge. The yellow and red and the brown wire, it's just power from the battery, and the yellow wire is for headlights and all that sort of stuff. So I'm getting power from the stator up until this point, but the issue can either be the plug itself or the regulator. So now we are eliminating the plug and hardwiring the regulator in, and if it's still not charging, I know for sure from inspection that the wiring harness is correct, the wiring for the fan is not causing the issue, and that the stator is putting out power to charge. So then we know for sure it is the regulator. Okay, so we have the regulator temporarily hardwired into the harness and insulated. Now I threw the tank back on. I'm gonna start the bike, and then we'll measure on the terminals if it's getting any power output, and if it doesn't, we know the regulator is faulty because it gets voltage up to here. So that means the current is not passing through the regulator and going up to the fuse box and battery as it should. So let's see. So we are getting a charge, but it is a very weak charge. Alright, so as you saw from the last couple of clips, the issue was indeed the plug. So the battery is charging now. It's still a little bit of a weak charge, but we'll see if we put a battery charger on and get the battery fully charged, because obviously it's pulling current now to charge the battery. But super stoked that we sorted the issue out. Now I need to tidy up the whole wiring harness, put everything back together, and then move on to the next project. Wiring done, tank is back on, fan is not working all of a sudden. Oh, there we go. Switch, fan is working, and now it's onto the O-ring for the rear brake master cylinder cap. So this is the old one, and it's literally as simple as throwing on the new one. So let's see if we can do it. And the O-ring is on, as simple as that. Now we just gotta pop this little cover back on and screw it it into the master cylinder. Okay, we'll have to take the bike for a ride to see if it is leaking, because it was pissing brake fluid from the top of the master when you get when the brakes were hard. Let's see. Okay, so we've got the bike pretty much back together. The last job, well, we got to replace the fork seal, but before we do that, as you can see, there are some nasty nicks on the fork. So what we are going to do, we're going to go through our assortment of sanding paper. We're going to start at 180 and work our way down all the way to 800 grit, and just sand down these nicks, and then we will go ahead and replace the fork seal. Pretty nasty. That chows your fork seal in one go. So in the last time lapse there, you saw me throw on Zane's fork and front wheel. I quickly took the bike for a test, and the wheel is operating as it should. The brake fluid reservoir is not leaking, but unfortunately the bike, well, the running issue that the bike had, and it wasn't actually the jetting. The bike doesn't want to go into the power band, so I'm gonna have to go and research that, but we won't have time to fix that in this video. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button, hit subscribe, and remember to hit the notification bell so you guys get notified when there's a new video live. So that's it for today. Peace out and keep ripping.